Did you know that the global goose market is worth nearly $5 billion every year, with over 50 million geese processed for meat, foie gras, and down? In Asia alone, China leads foie gras exports, raking in $2 billion in 2022. In Europe, France and Hungary remain icons of premium foie gras, retailing at 80,200,000 keys. Geese also yield high-value down and skin, pushing per-bird value to over $100. Welcome to AGRI 360X, where we explore every facet of agricultural technology in billion-dollar markets. Today, we'll trace the journey of the goose, from its Ice Age ancestors to modern farms, from wild migration to high-end processing plants. If you love uncovering the hidden stories behind your food, hit like, comment, and subscribe to AGRI 360X. We publish new videos Monday, Friday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. with weekend specials at noon. Domesticated geese, Anser domesticus, descend from wild ancestors, the European gray goose and the Chinese swan goose, first tamed over 3,000 years ago along the Yangtze River and Danube basins for meat and eggs. Over centuries, selective breeding produced distinct breeds. Toulouse goose, France. Weighs 9–11 kilograms at maturity. Prized for foie gras thanks to its large, fatty liver. Emden goose, Germany/UK. Pure white plumage, weighs 8 to 10 kilos, mainly raised for meat. Romanian, Hungary. Goose, cold hardy, yields liver averaging 1.5 kilos on foie gras farms. Chinese indigenous goose, Anser domesticus. A hybrid with an average liver size of 1.2 kilos, widely farmed in Guangdong and Guangxi provinces. Breed and climate differences dictate growth rate, meat quality, and down yield. Modern geese are genetically selected for rapid growth and maximum product yield, balancing tradition with innovation. China dominates goose production with over 50 million geese, yielding 500,000 tons of goose meat and 30,000 tons of foie gras in 2022 alone. Next come France, 15,000 tons foie gras, 5 million geese. Hungary, 12,000 tons foie gras, 4 million geese. And Poland, 8,000 tons foie gras. In the United States, goose farming is a niche. About 120,000 geese, mainly in Florida and Texas, roughly 1% of total poultry production. Germany and the Netherlands run smaller operations. Typical farms raise 500 to 1,000 geese for local markets. China's industrial-scale farms use climate-controlled barns, automated feeders, and centralized slaughterhouses. In contrast, France and Hungary uphold traditional free-range practices, feeding geese maize, maîtrise du gavage, to produce AOC standard foie gras. These figures highlight global diversity in scale and technique, from mass production to artisanal heritage. For meat production, geese require at least 1.5 to 2 meters per bird indoors, freshwater access, and climate control. 18 to 20 degrees C for the first 4 weeks, then down to 15 to 18 degrees C to minimize stress. Their feed is mainly cornmeal, soybean meal, and rice bran at 18% protein, ad libitum until 7 to 8 weeks when they reach 5 to 6 kg. Silage and greens boost meat flavor. For foie gras, gavage, force feeding, is critical. Geese are raised to 9 to 12 weeks, then fed 90% corn mash via tube twice daily, about 700–800 kilograms per feed, for 12–15 days. Barns are kept at 15 to 16 degrees to promote liver fattening without harming bird welfare. Clean water and occasional paddling pools reduce liver damage and improve foie gras quality. Advanced farms integrate IoT sensors and automated feeders, monitoring goose health and environment. Mortality rates drop to 2% versus up to 10% on traditional farms, blending centuries-old know-how with 21st-century precision. At 8 to 10 weeks, when a goose weighs 5 to 7 keys, it heads to a processing plant. Gavin Food Processing in Hungary slaughters 50,000 geese per week, separating meat, liver, and down. Goose meat, trimmed, deboned, and ground for pâtés and sausages. Breast and leg cuts go to retail. Goose meat has 15 gram protein per 100 grams and 12 gram fat, mostly unsaturated, selling for 6 to 8 kilos. Foie gras. Livers are inspected, cleaned, salted, and vacuum-packed or canned. AOC-grade French foie gras fetches 150 pounds to 200 pounds kilos, sold tariff-free to the US market. Down and feathers, white and gray down is separated via industrial down sorters, graded at 600 to 650 fill power, and sold for 80 kilos into bedding and apparel industries. Each goose can yield $40 in total value, $15 meat, $100 foie gras, $5 down, explaining how the global goose sector reaches $5 billion annually. Foie gras is a luxury gift in the US, Japan, South Korea, and China. In 2022, France exported 15,000 tons of liver worth $3 billion. Hungary exported 12,000 tons worth $1.5 billion. China alone imported 7,000 tons for the Lunar New Year, consuming 90% domestically. Goose meat in supermarkets, Walmart, Carrefour, Aeon, sells at $8.12 kilos for breast, $10-15 kilos for legs. Frozen imports from Europe enter Asian markets at $5 kilos. Luxury down bedding, sold via Amazon, Alibaba, and high-end showrooms, experiences peak demand in winter, consuming over 20,000 tons globally. Goose down is prized for its exceptional insulation and lightweight loft. The entire goose sector, meat, foie gras, down, yields around $5 billion in annual revenue, with 80% coming from foie gras. This drives farms to scale up and invest in cutting-edge technology to meet global demand. Geese hold a cultural and culinary place across the globe. France. Foie gras de Noël. Christmas. Traditions center on family feasts with foie gras paired with champagne. Hungary. Libadalom, Goose Festival, in Szeged, draws 50,000 visitors annually for goose-themed parades, tasting events, and live cooking demonstrations. China. Dry goose liver, ji ganya, is a prestigious gift for Lunar New Year banquets. Hunan-style spicy goose hot pot is a street food favorite. Vietnam. Crispy roast goose at Cantonese restaurants in Ho Chi Minh City sells at 300,000 to 500,000 VND kg, served with lime chili dipping sauce. US. Thanksgiving goose is trending as an alternative to turkey. Minnesota supplies 50,000 geese annually to Jewish communities for Rosh Hashanah celebrations. From ancient rituals to modern banquets, geese connect people through shared heritage and rich flavors. A 100-gram serving of goose meat, with skin, contains 300 calories, 28 grams of fat, mostly monounsaturated and polyunsaturated, 16 grams of protein, and 0 gram carbs. In comparison, 100 grams of beef sirloin has 270 cal, 20 grams of fat, and 26 grams of protein. Goose meat is rich in vitamin B12, 100 grams, 166% DV, and selenium, 36 grams, 100 grams, 52% DV, supporting neurological function and immunity. Foie gras contains 40 grams of fat, 100 grams, of which 20 grams is oleic acid, similar to olive oil, and 2 grams of omega-3, which may reduce inflammation. However, it also holds 300 milligrams of cholesterol, 100 grams. Health experts advise limiting foie gras to 50 kilograms per week to avoid lipid imbalances. Goose down is incredibly light and insulating, with a R value of 3.5 to 4.5 in comforters, on par with merino wool. A small down pillow containing 100 kilograms of premium A-grade down supports spinal alignment and reduces neck pain. In short, goose meat and foie gras are nutritious in moderation. Down provides unmatched warmth and sleep quality. Goose farming and foie gras production face ethical and environmental scrutiny. In France, the Montmorillon Law, 2014, bans force-feeding via plastic tubes in Ile-de-France but allows it in Aquitaine and Alsace. French foie gras use accounts for only 0.5% of total poultry production. Foie gras production consumes 8 L of water and emits 4 kiloliters CO2e per 100 grams of foie gras versus 2.5 L and 2 kiloliters CO2e for 100 grams of chicken liver. Force-feeding stresses birds, leading to liver damage. Animal welfare groups such as PETA actively protest these methods. Industrial goose barns also cause manure runoff and air pollution. Organic, free-range farms use pasture-based systems, reducing antibiotic use by 95% over a 5-year transition, regenerating soil and sequestering carbon. In China, green food standards require natural rearing, organic feed, and no growth promoters, cutting emissions by 20% compared to industrial farms. Merging ethics and sustainability will determine the future of goose farming. Science is transforming goose production. CRISPR. Gene editing. France's AGRI is editing the PPRGU gene to produce geese with livers 15% larger without force feeding. Pilot flocks expected by 2025. IoT and AI sensors. High-end goose farms deploy sensors to track temperature, humidity, and goose movement, step counts, adjusting feed and environment automatically, reducing mortality to 1%. AI-driven feeding stations. China's startup Goose Tech uses machine learning to calculate each goose's metabolic rate and dispense precise corn mash portions, cutting feed waste by 25%. Lab-grown foie gras. Researchers at Yale University are cultivating goose liver cells in bioreactors to produce a 3D foie gras without force feeding, potentially ending the practice altogether. These advances blend tradition with cutting-edge technology, reshaping geese into tomorrow's superfood. From Ice Age migrators to high-tech farms and lab-grown foie gras, geese embody resilience and immense economic value. But as markets expand, we face choices. Continue force feeding, uphold tradition, or embrace lab-grown alternatives. How do we balance ethics, environment, and profits? Here's our question for you. If you could change one element in the goose value chain, from genetics and rearing to processing and consumption, what would it be to build a better future for both people and geese? Thank you for watching AGRI 360X, where we uncover the unexpected stories behind everyday foods. If you found this compelling, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more in-depth explorations. We publish Monday-Friday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. with weekend specials at noon. Until next time, stay curious and stay inquisitive.